Well, hello, hello, hello. Oh, my voice is cracking a little bit. How's everybody doing? How you doing, Miss Cassandra?
I am doing great. How are you?
I am doing well. Welcome back to the Eight Queens Roundtable show and podcast.
It is a pleasure to be here. I want to thank you for another invite.
Absolutely. So, everyone, again, you've joined us for Eight Queens Roundtable show and podcast, which is now streaming on the Realizing Your Potential television network. And we stream on Apple TV, Roku TV, and Amazon Fire TV. Go download, look up the app, search the app, download it, and make sure you leave a wonderful rating on the app that helps us to obtain more visibility for the network. As well as you can go to your iOS app store or either your Android app store and find the Realizing Your Potential television network app. And of course, Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So, if you haven't done so already, make sure you grab the app. That way, you can not only stay up to date with this awesome episode, but the other ones as well. So, again, A Queen's Roundtable Show and Podcast, I always make it my business to bring on a host of different guests that have all different types of specialty. And we basically have an open, honest, transparent conversation about entrepreneurship and definitely leaving you with different tools and or tools and techniques. That's what I was looking for, to basically help you along the lines as far as personal, professional, or leadership development. So with that being said, Miss Cassandra, go ahead and introduce yourself and let the audience know a little bit about who you are.
Hello, everyone. So great for you to be here with us today. As you can see, my title, Transformation Agent for Black Women. Um, that is my way of communicating to the world the impact that I'm making in the lives of Black women as a master life coach who's certified in women's entrepreneurship. I primarily work with Black women in ensuring that we have emotional and mental well being and having that financial stability we desperately need as entrepreneurs.
Okay, awesome. So, as we spoke, or as I mentioned earlier, we were just talking about this, is that this is her second time being on the Eight Queens, or maybe the third time. Now that I'm thinking about it. But at least I know definitely the second time, because I know you were on the show about a couple years ago. And
Mhm.
I wanted her to talk a little bit about, kind of where she is, like, where she was, what she was doing at that time, how business was going, what your, I guess what your vision was, and just kind of bring us up to 20, I was gonna say 2024. What's going on? What's going to be the same? What's going to be different? What can we expect? How are you going to be serving your clients uh now?
Wow, it is funny how time flies. I'm not for sure. I am not for sure. I know I'm with you. I know at least twice, but time flies when you're having fun. Um, what has changed? Oh my goodness. When I started my first business venture, Holistic Living Consulting, for those who may not know, I was diagnosed with systemic lupus in 2014. And at the time, I was working in corporate America. And originally, when I got diagnosed, I did traditional treatment, chemo, drugs, all this other stuff. And the side effects were just so overwhelming that I decided to go back to college and started taking courses in alternative medicine. And God just blessed me through going that route to develop a regimen that put me in remission. So initially, when I entered remission in 2016, I'm like, okay, Lord, I thank you, but what's next? And so, what was next was me starting holistic living consulting. And within that company, I was very intentional because I am a holistic health practitioner. I'm also a wellness coach, certified in aromatherapy. So, pretty good, diverse background in alternative therapies. And so I was really intentional on supporting women, especially women of color, in improving our health, but focus more on um, people who suffered from autoimmune or chronic conditions. So that was a big part of my why. As you know, like I just told you, I was blessed to reverse systemic lupus in my body, and that company existed for 6 years. So for those who might not know, just right at the end of 2024, I transitioned out of that company, closed, and fast forward to 2025, I'm super excited. Right now, I believe we are in a time where we really have to be intentional about our emotional and mental well being. And I noticed even in the work that I did within my company, Holistic Living Consulting, that most of the people who came to me with let's say you were suffering with type 2 diabetes. Yes, that's a physical condition, but it stemmed more from emotional, mental being out of whack. So if you're overeating, if you're not taking care of yourself, if you're working too much and got stress and all that, it's gonna manifest itself. Yeah, it's gonna manifest itself with high stress levels and everything, but it also will manifest itself for some people in a dis-ease. And so, even in that space of working on improving someone's physical well being, the emotional and mental aspect is so, so important, to where I decided as I move forward, we're going to focus on that. Because when we think about where we're at right now, especially as Black women, we're seeing um, some things that are alarming. We're talking about Black women when you look at the National National Domestic Abuse Hotline and their studies. 45% of Black women are in relationships where they experience violence from their intimate partner. You
Whoa.
know,
Did you say 45%?
45%.
Wow.
And
I
that's
thought
what's
it was
being
that high.
reported.
You said, and that's what?
That's what's being reported. There's so many women, I'm sure all women do not report when they're abused.
Wow.
You know,
I just had no, and I'm a social worker. I had no idea. But I don't stay up to date on those stats. But I had no idea it was that high. Wow.
I didn't
Okay.
either. I was blown. I'm a volunteer with a domestic abuse shelter,
Hmm.
and that made me dig more. Just trying to get a better understanding, and I was pretty shocked myself to learn that many of us experience unhealthy, toxic relationships. you know. And so when I think about things like that, when I think about even what's going on right now with the DEI and so many. I just read a post recently on LinkedIn where this professional was told, well, you're a DEI hire. Like, basically, you're not qualified to be here because of your appearance. We're just in a time right now where we really have to be proactive about protecting our peace. And I want to be one of the people leading the way in us protecting our peace. And that's why the shift is happening.
Okay. So you're still going to serve in the capacity of like working one on one with individuals?
Yes, but it will be limited. I know, as a writer, being an author, a speaker, whether you're speaking virtually or in person events, and just all the things. There's only one you, and I attempt to practice what I preach. So, as I move forward, when I do start back coaching one on one, it'll be a very limited amount of sessions that I will be doing
Okay.
per year.
Okay. And you had
Yeah.
mentioned too previously, I know when we spoke, in terms of like hitting the speaking circuit, and I know you're also an author as well. So those are
Yeah.
on the horizon too.
Yeah, yeah, definitely increasing. I've been a speaker for, some years,
Hmm.
but like I said, it's just a matter of where do you focus your energy. Um, and you guys who's watching, I want you to know that I love and appreciate each and every one of you. But please realize that uh, when a person decides, I know for me, when I decide to take a client on as a coach, not only is it our time, it is our energy. Because I know for me, a lot of times, I want to see your growth, your transformation more than you when we initially start working together. And you have to be honest with yourself about how you can do that and do it in excellency. Because anything I do, I want done in excellency, and still take care of yourself. So some of these measures will be beneficial to the people God has called me to serve, but for me as well.
Right. Yeah. It's funny you said that for you as well. It's like, and this may be kind of going in a little bit slightly different of a direction, but it's like a lot of times when I'm helping my clients through things, it helps me too. Or sometimes I may learn something from somebody,
Yeah.
or something or maybe they may teach me something about myself. They may teach me something about myself. They may teach me something that, I just didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a process. And to me, it's like we're always learning and growing.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that's
Mhm.
another reason why I think it's so important that we're having this conversation, because I think a lot of us entrepreneurs go through some form of fashion of a rebirth or a rebranding. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I want
Mhm.
people to see it as a part of the process.
Yeah.
Part of
Yeah.
the process, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Jesus told us we're either growing or we're dying. So evolution will happen, period. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of, will you join the evolution or will you remain stagnant? And you definitely don't want to be stagnant, because I know recently I saw um, the various different logos of McDonald's.
Mm,
And
okay.
you're probably thinking it's always been the same, but no, it hasn't. They make tweaks, and they may not be just major, the colors are the same, but they change. And that is part, if you are not growing and learning and adapting and changing, eventually you will not stand the test of times. You'll be the next Montgomery Wards or Sears or Blockbuster because you have not innovated. And if you've had enough birthdays, you remember. I know I can remember being a kid and you're going to check out a movie, you got movie night and you go to Blockbuster. But they didn't innovate, so they don't exist. You know?
It's funny to hear you say that. I used to work at Montgomery Wards. And I know the young people are like, what's that? What's Montgomery
I've
Ward?
not heard of it.
But yeah, yep, you're right. I I just think it's what I had mentioned before. I just kind of piggyback again on that. I just want women that are listening to this, that are, whether you just started your business, maybe you've been in business for 5 or 6 years, maybe it's only been a year, maybe it's been 10 years, that we're all learning, we're all growing, and Lord knows technology is growing, with AI and all these different things, that it's okay to pivot, and I know a lot of people had to pivot after COVID, or during and after COVID, but just
Mhm.
even alongside of that it's okay to change directions,
Yeah,
if because our purpose may change,
yeah,
maybe you fulfilled your purpose with the people that you helped through your business previously, now this is
mhm.
this is a new season, you know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean? So
yeah,
just never feel so what's the word, just so attached to the point, almost
yeah,
like it's a, like you just, I was gonna say, like, stay attached to a sinking ship, but and I'm not saying that in your case. I'm just saying, in addition to, some people hold on so tight, even though they're not, it's not, but maybe the times have changed and
mhm.
it's not performing the way it used to, but people still want to kind of hold on to it. Or maybe they're a little nervous because they don't want to seem like they're flighty, or they can't make up their mind, or like, oh, here she go again doing something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it might be
yeah,
a lot of different reasons why sometimes people may be kind of apprehensive. I don't want to say afraid, but apprehensive to kind of shift gears a little bit, to basically come back to the table, maybe take a look at what's worked, what hasn't worked, how
mhm.
you feel, how your purpose has changed, how you've grown as an individual, how you've grown as a business owner.
Yeah,
Don't be afraid of that, to come back and just lay everything out,
yeah,
take a look at it, and reevaluate. I think that that's
mhm.
very healthy. That's a
Yeah.
healthy um way of looking at it.
Yeah. I have one acquaintance that comes to mind, and
Mhm.
she transitioned out of a business that was a seven-figure business. So, um, change, I think a lot of times it's hard for us to be open to change because we think it's a sign of failure, and it's not. you know Change is just being open to possibilities.
Mhm. Yeah.
And any innovative, forward thinking entrepreneur,
Mhm.
that's part of your success. That's how you remain on top. You don't wait until the
Mhm.
need is been there and the market is saturated. No, you want to get ahead of it. So give yourself that grace, you know. And one thing that, for me personally, as a Christian, in whatever I do, I feel is God's business. So just giving yourself that time on a regular basis. Me personally, I do it daily. Meditation, prayer, and ask God to guide you, because He will never, one thing about God, He'll never lead you wrong. And even when you have meetings, board meetings within your business, even if it's just you, He should be a part of it, because the change should be happening. If it's not happening, it should be happening. And you want Him at the center of it. So you're moving towards vision.
Mhm. Yes, ma'am. So let's kind of move over a little, and I know she's already provided some, powerful tools to put in your arsenal to be able to utilize and, pull out as needed. But could you maybe give us one more? What have you learned, or what has been most valuable to you as an entrepreneur?
Yeah. I would say build community. So important. Building community, being a network. One, it allows you to have a space to learn from others in business, and hopefully for you to share your wisdom, insights in business. Another thing, it puts you in rooms that you might not even be aware of. I can think of a friend that comes to mind right now, spoke my name in a room, and by her speaking my name in this particular room, the opportunity was just given to me. So being in community with the right people um, can really change your life. So I would say focus on building real community with like-minded people, and also learning. That's been really beneficial to me, whether it's been through traditional learning like college.
Mhm.
Um, and I got to think about it. But I've been a part of so many different programs, like Goldman Sachs, their 1 Million Black Women, Black in Business program. I was an inaugural um, graduate of that program. God bless, I was able to do Cornell Women's Entrepreneurship certified in that. So be open to learning, because I could have thought, well, I've been in business, a few years now. Why would I do it now? But I learned so much. So
Cool.
be open to learning. Um, if you're not learning, you're not. And I hate to sound like a drum, but if you are not learning, you are putting yourself on a one-way street.
Yeah.
If you're walking on a one-way street, you're heading nowhere. I would say the third and final thing that's been really effective for me as an entrepreneur has been consistency,
Okay.
showing up, doing the work, even when you think no one's watching. Keep doing the work.
Right.
And even when you don't think people are watching, they are. You just don't know it, but they are. So keep doing the work, and the right clients, the right collaborations, the right everything you need will come at the right time.
Okay. I totally agree. I totally agree. And sometimes it may be challenging. We think that, we just like no one's paying attention or things aren't happening fast enough or whatever the case. But like you said, just keep going.
Yeah,
Just keep
yeah,
going.
yeah,
So and evaluating your progress, you know, along the way. And just, like you said, always be a student
yeah,
and always be open to learning, because I think a lot of times too we may get so involved in oh, I got this, that sometimes we kind of close off and we don't, um, we don't take in any new information, you know,
Yeah.
in, in a
Yeah.
particular area. Whereas just because even though you may be doing something, I feel like I'm going to have a coughing fit. You may be doing something and it may be working, but it doesn't mean that you can improve.
Yeah. Yeah. There is always room for growth
Mm-hmm.
in each and every person out there. I don't care if you're Oprah,
Right. Okay.
there is always room to grow. Even think about Oprah, for example. Oprah, she had a excellent TV show that,
Mhm.
people the world over knew about the Oprah Winfrey Show. But when that season of her life ended, she could have
Mhm.
did nothing
Mhm.
and been fine the rest of her life, But she decided, okay, I'm gonna build this network.
Right.
And she had to learn because that's different, having a show versus having your own network. But
Mhm.
she was willing to do the work and look where the her network is now. Because I could remember when I first started watching it, you could see like, okay, even though this is Oprah, she's building
Mhm.
and growing,
Mhm.
and now is
Yep.
prime.
Mhm. Yep. Yep. Just gotta start from somewhere.
Yeah,
You know.
everybody.
So
Even
yeah.
Oprah. Yeah.
Mhm. So you know what? Share with the audience where do you typically hang out? How can they, follow you, maybe see some of your work or just
Yeah.
basically, get in contact with you?
Yeah, the easiest way to stay plugged into me is if you go to my Linktree /Hiller Cassandra, Linktree / Cassandra. There are my Linktree. You'll see all my links for my social media, but you'll also see some resources there that I have that can support you, especially if you're a woman of color, whether it's affirmations, whether it's just how to love yourself, different tools in that respect. If you're an entrepreneur looking for um, funding, you'll see a resource there for that, but just all types of resources to support Black women and entrepreneurs as well.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Well, any final words before I close this out?
Yeah, I want to leave with this quote and let it marinate. Anyone with the ability to love, anyone with the ability to love should start with themselves.
Anyone with the ability to love should start with themselves. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Um, we need more love right now more than ever. We need more love. And when I love me, when I genuinely love me, I'm not talking about, oh, I love myself, so I'm going to get a mani pedi. I ain't
Right.
saying don't do it, sister. But what I'm saying, when I genuinely love myself, then I can show love to others,
Mhm.
you
Okay.
know. And as we do that as a community, we change our world.
Right. I so agree. Wow. Okay. I like that. Well, thank you for returning to the show, and thanks for sharing all of your expertise and basically, just being open and letting us know kind of, some of your process and just letting us in. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I love it. And I love what you're doing. And again, thanks for the invite. It's always a pleasure to sit down with you, and you already know that I'm sending the best blessings on top of blessings, and everything that God has for you.
Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Well, that concludes our episode, our Eight Queens Roundtable show and podcast episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please again visit us at, well, actually let me kind of go back. I didn't mention this before. It is also on YouTube as well. If you're going to be subscribing, it is the Eight Queens Roundtable show, which is the actual channel name on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, some people hang out on YouTube, some people don't. But if you do, go ahead and subscribe. In
Yes.
turn, right, hit that subscribe button, y'all. Like the video, share it out. If you hang out on either the iOS app or the Android app, look for Realizing Your Potential TV. You can download it there, as well as the Apple TV, Fire TV, and Roku TV. You can also download the app there under Realizing Your Potential. It's either Realizing Your Potential TV or Realizing Your Potential TV Network. All of them are a little different, but if you put in Realizing Your Potential TV, it will come up. And just make sure that you download and rate the app, and just basically just stay up to date. I can be found on LinkedIn as well as Facebook under my name, Dr. Jacqueline Kaba-Harrison. I'm on IG as well, but I'm not as active on IG. So if you really want to reach out to me, I would probably say the best place to do it is on LinkedIn, and we can connect that way. So thanks again. And if you're interested in being a guest on the show or hosting your own show, whether it be TV show or hosting a podcast on the Realizing Your Potential Television Network, let me know. Let's link up, let's have a conversation and basically make it happen. All right. Thanks again. And until next time, stay well and stay productive. All right. Bye bye, everyone.